Um, I learned a lot from that funeral, watching that man. Um, he passed away. His wife was there, and they're of a blended family, basically. From a previous marriage. His wife passed away, and his current wife that was with that, his current wife that was there at his wake. Um, I learned, about the love and how he was a man of faith, and he basically, you know, went out like a man of God, faith and trials, and he learned trades and skills, and taught his daughters to golf, and he when I saw him, he saw his wake. I didn't see him because he was dead. It had me thinking about that's what I would want. That's what I would want for my family. I would want my kids to look at me that way. Okay. And the Bible says the kids are, like arrows in the quiver. Um, that's how beautiful they are. And believe me, they're beautiful in how they start talking and thinking for themselves and having conversations with them. Um, I just could never see myself being okay with abortion. I could never see them because when they're little and then they come out the womb and till they get big, you just can't get enough of them because they're of you. God blessed you to have children, and a lot of people can't see that, unfortunately, because they're lost. Okay, sad to say, those who maybe have known Christ at one time, but they are lost. And when I went to his funeral, it got me thinking about a lot of things. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verses 2 to 12 says 2 to 2 verses 2 to 4 says, "It is better to go to the funeral than a party. We all must decide, and everyone living should think about this. Sorrow is better than laughter, and sadness has a good influence on you. A wise person thinks about death, but a fool thinks only of having a good time." Okay. And it had me thinking a lot. I was there. The subject was a man's death and how he brought life to his family, to his kids, to his children, to his the new wife he had before he passed. Okay. And how he impacted them, how his daughters impacted, about how all you could say was the Bible says. And she said, "Well, what do you think, Daddy?" And he was just, "I could only tell you what the Bible says." And excuse me, he was such a man that he just, you know, he just wanted to put God in everything. And as a man, when I saw that, it's like, wow, that's something I would want for my kids to actually like to love me like that, because I putting God first. It's a challenge to put Jesus first, but I mean, and you're seeing that, and it's like, wow, wow, I would like that. And us men, we have to work for that, because very few men get that privilege to have their kids actually say such good things about them. A lot of men claim to be Christian but are horrible fathers, and you get that. It's a privilege when you just being a father, and you actually want to do good for your kids, and they reward you by talking well of you at your funeral. And very few men get to understand that. Very few men actually understand you have to work for that type of honor. It's not given for free because you got knocked up their mother, and voila, now they must honor you. Okay, don't get me wrong. Yeah, the Bible says you have to honor your mother and father, but some, the Bible also says don't put your children to wrath. Okay, you know, you still have to be a good parent to your children. Okay, God is not a respecter of persons. You still have to be a good parent to your children for them to honor you. God will say you have to honor them anyway, because even if they were horrible parents, but it makes it a whole lot better when you are a parent that actually takes care and loves your kids. Okay. I went to that funeral, and listening to the mother, listening to his daughter speak, both of his daughters speak about him. Okay. Then one of the children that came from his wife's side, the second wife's side, talk about him. It's good things. Okay. And that was like, wow, this is really a blessing. This is really a blessing. And the devil was trying to mess with my mind. I was like, nah, Satan, you're not getting in my way today. You know, I was really, really blessed to hear what I was hearing. And it's just like, wow, I would like this for my kids to do this for me one day. You know, it was such a blessing. I can't even describe, you know, Church of Christ in God Church. And they really were, they were worshiping too and preaching the gospel. And it was a blessing. It was a blessing to, you know, and Father's Day is, I believe, is next month too. Wow. That is something for us fathers to look forward to work for that blessing, to be good fathers to your children, so when they get big they could give you that honor. And that was just, to me, it felt like it was a standing ovation for that man. you know I'd like to cry, I really would, because it's just like, wow, that's something I would want for my kids to do for me. you know that should be for every godly man, you know to have that, to want to have that. Okay. That's what I like to say. And I hope you all are blessed by this, what I had to say. Hope this makes all the men think to want to have your wives say some good things about you. You know, you treated your wife right, and she could say some good things about you. You know, or maybe you are divorced and things went bad, and maybe even you were the reason why the marriage ended. That maybe you could make amends and ask her to forgive you for the things you've done, and maybe she could say something good about you on at the day of your wake when you pass, as well as your children could say something good to you when you pass from this earth. All right, peace and God bless. You can also check the description box, see what other platforms I'm on. All right, you have a good day.